Hello everyone, this is Jackie, and this is going to be a quick video just to show the progress on my first loaded envelope, and then just also to share a couple of things that I've been working on. Now this is my first loaded envelope that I created, and I'm making it for Poet Spice here on YouTube. And I didn't own any of the 6x9 envelopes, so I had to create my own using some 12x12 paper. I was fortunate to have an older paper pad from K & Company that was double-sided. You know, a lot of the paper pads that I own, the paper is only one-sided. So I was really lucky. My initial intention was to use some cardstock, a really sturdy cardstock that I love to buy from Tuesday Morning. I think it's the Basil or Basil. I think it's Basil. Cardstock, because it's really thick and it just makes a really sturdy base for different things. I like to use them for my easel cards as well. And then just cover it with some paper, either thinner cardstock or you know, designer paper. But since the K & Company paper was thick, you know, thicker than just designer paper and double-sided, I thought that that would be a waste. So I just created the envelope. I used two 12x12 papers to create it, and I think it worked really well. However, I already discovered that there was a design flaw because, you know, this is my first one. I'm gonna make it work. It's gonna be fine. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail because I'm gonna do that when I'm completely done with the envelope, but I'll just kind of give a general overview of the envelope. And then also I created some of these little flower embellishments following a tutorial from Karen. She's so sweet and so talented. And of course hers are 1,000 times better than mine, but I'm going to give it a second try. I'm still pretty happy with how these came out. And then also some little scrap monsters. However, mine aren't true scrap monsters because I used washi tape, because that's what I had available to me at that particular moment when it hit me that I needed to make some of these. And there are several tutorials out there for scrap monsters. I believe the very first one I watched was from Pink Poodle Scrap Crafts, if I'm not mistaken. She made some sugar skulls that I am so in love with, and eventually we'll create some of those. But I want to say that she got the idea from Little Ink, I think that's her name. And then, of course, other people have been making them. So there are several tutorials out there for how to create these little guys, and they are adorable. I am so in love. And as I mentioned, I used washi tape and some really sturdy, that same sturdy cardstock from Tuesday Morning that I love. So what I've seen is people using the white cardstock or white paper to create their little faces, but since I already had that other cardstock out, that's what I used. So it's kind of that tan color, and it's fine. I still love how these guys came out. And a couple of them were hand-drawn shapes. And as you can see, a couple of them were actually shapes that I punched out. The little heart guy and then the little flower girl there. So anyway, I'll show those. But this is my loaded envelope. And as I mentioned, I created it using some paper, two 12x12 sheets of paper, and I'll explain everything in detail when I come back and do the completed project video. And so here's the pocket, and this is what I'm talking about. This was the design flaw. When you embellish up here, and if you have a pocket down here, and maybe I just made it too tall, I don't know. If you want to put anything in that pocket, if it's kind of long, you're going to have a hard time getting it in and out of that pocket. So the way I'm working around that is I'm going to be putting my Project Life cards in there, you know, stuff that's not too tall, and I think it'll work just fine. And I also put a pocket in the back. And so I had this old, well, I don't know, I think I've had it a couple of years, this Heidi Swap little flip. I guess this is for pictures, little picture flip book or whatever. So I'm going to embellish that, but it was a good size for this envelope. So yeah. So there's that, and I'll go into detail with that later on when I'm finished. embellishing. And then, like I said, these following Karen's tutorial, and she's JBLDY, I think. And yeah, so really like them. She used acrylic paints, and I forget what the other medium was that she used. And of course, hers are a lot more beautiful than mine, but this was the first time. And I used watercolor crayons, the Recollections ones. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer, and I'm sorry about the lighting. I hope to have a different setup here pretty soon. Kagan and the baby have moved back into their own apartment, and so I just need to get out into the living room and make myself a crafty space. Hopefully with better lighting as well. So there's those. And then I also, you know, I'm kind of a trial and error crafter. So I realized that rather than, you know, scribbling on with the crayon and then trying to rub out the color with water, it worked better for me if I just kind of dabbed at it. And so some of these look better than others, and that's because I realized that dabbing was better than rubbing. So some of these will look better than others, like I said. And then also I used gesso. For the white, I used gesso. I think Karen used just regular white acrylic paint, but I had the gesso. So, and then the centers are just black acrylic paint. I had the heavy body stuff, but you could easily just use regular acrylic paint. And then I used the Posca paint pens for the little white dots in the center. And then as far as the outline, I want to say that I used, what pen did I use? Oh, I'm not sure, but just one of those black sketch pens. So really cute. This is my favorite. I don't know why. I mean, I love green, but I think the shape is really nice. So yeah, so there are those, and I'm hoping the next time I give it a go, because I will do some more, it'll be even better now that I've kind of learned the technique. And it's on watercolor paper, so I used watercolor paper. And then my little monsters. So this is the first one that I created, and I just sketched out a shape on that really thick cardstock and cut it out. And then I put my washi tape on there and then just trimmed off the excess. And then I used a paper punch for the wings that I had, because I just thought it would be cute for him to have wings, and then a little crown when I realized the size would work. And I just sketched out a little face on some of that cardstock. So it's not perfect, but I still think it's cute. And then the larger heart is actually a wood piece that I just glued some kind of gold metallic paper. I don't know if you can tell. There you go. And then that's just a smaller punched out heart. And then I just ran a paint pen, a Posca paint pen on the edges. And I don't think that a paint pen works so great on the washi because it's kind of coming off a little bit. So maybe a different kind of marker would have been better. And then the wings, I just used a white paint pen and then used some, what do you call that stuff? Stickles to make the wings glittery. And then the crown, I just added some, I know you probably can't tell, but the little gems in his crown are really super light blue, just like the little heart in the center here. So I think he's so cute. I love them so much, and I have no idea what I'm going to use them for, but they're super adorable. I'm actually considering just doing a flip book, and maybe that'll be a challenge, a flip book where you use little scrap monsters, because I think they're absolutely adorable. And last night I watched a video from Wendy Mason. I'm pretty sure that's her name, Wendy Mason. She made an index card with one of her little scrap monsters, but hers is a true scrap monster with the scrap paper. And oh my God, it was just adorable. I love them so much. So I don't know. That's just a thought. And then this is the second one I created. I did not put a crown on this one. I just put a little bow on top of her head. I was going to do hair, but I don't know. And then this guy, this is one I decided to try punches, you know, like punch shapes, because maybe, I don't know, people don't want to try to sketch out a shape, so a punch works just as well. I gave him kind of a more square head there, and I still think it's cute. And then this little one was just that retro flower punch. Sorry guys. That retro flower punch. And also with the washi tape, and just kind of cut off the excess. And I used a scalloped circle for the hair, and then a smaller circle, and I just cut off a piece for kind of like bangs. So it just kind of looks like a little baby monster. So yeah, I love them so much, and I'm going to see if I like the white cardstock for the faces, if I like that contrast, but I'm pretty happy with this color. It works for me. And, oh, I forgot to mention that I did color in their eyes, the white of the eyes, with a gel pen, just a regular gel pen. And so, yeah, so super cute. So, yeah, that's what I've been working on. And I will be on shortly to share what I want my next challenge to be for my next giveaway. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. Thank you. Bye.